The Dendera Temple complex stands proudly on the west bank of the Nile. It is a place of profound mystery and ancient knowledge. Officially, scholars tell us it was mainly built during the Ptolemaic period. This was a time when Greek kings ruled Egypt, but the site itself is much, much older. Inscriptions within the temple speak of ancient texts. They say the original plans came from the time of the followers of Horus. These were godlike beings who ruled long before the pharaohs. The temple was dedicated to the goddess Hathor. She was the goddess of the sky, love, and joy. But she was also a keeper of cosmic secrets. The main temple we see today is a masterpiece of architecture. Its grand columns are topped with the face of Hathor. The ceilings are painted with stunning astronomical charts. One of these, the famous Dendera zodiac, shows a map of the heavens. It is so precise that it challenges our view of ancient science. This was not just a place of worship. It was an observatory. It was a library of stone. It was a machine designed to track the slow, grand cycles of the cosmos. The priests of Dendera were not just religious figures. They were astronomers, scientists, and guardians of a forgotten wisdom. They understood the stars in a way we are only just beginning to grasp. Why did they build something so complex? What knowledge were they trying to preserve? The official story tells us it was for religious festivals, but the scale and precision suggest something more. The entire complex feels aligned with the stars. It seems designed to measure the great precessional cycle. This is the slow wobble of the Earth that takes nearly 26,000 years. The ancient Egyptians knew about this. They encoded this knowledge into their greatest monuments. Dendera is perhaps the clearest example of this. It is a message sent through time, waiting for a generation that could understand its celestial language. We must look past the simple explanations. We must ask more profound questions. The temple's foundations are said to rest on the site of a far older structure. This original temple dated back to the dawn of Egyptian civilization, perhaps even earlier. The builders of the Ptolemaic era were not creating something new. They were rebuilding something ancient. They were following a sacred blueprint passed down through millennia. Dendera is not just a temple. It is a legacy of a lost golden age. It is a testament to a science and a spirituality that we have forgotten, a fingerprint of the gods left for us to find. Beneath the polished stone floors of this magnificent temple lies another world. A series of long, narrow chambers are hidden from view. These are the crypts of Dendera. They are not tombs for the dead, as the name might suggest. Instead, they were secret vaults. They were designed to protect the temple's most sacred objects and knowledge. Access to these crypts was extremely limited. Only the highest-ranking priests could enter. They had to move heavy stone blocks to reveal the hidden stairways. The air inside is still and silent. It feels like stepping into a time capsule, sealed away from the world for thousands of years. The discovery and exploration of these crypts were slow and careful. Early Egyptologists knew of their existence from ancient texts, but finding the secret entrances was a challenge. These were not meant to be found by accident. The passages are tight and claustrophobic. They wind deep into the foundations of the temple. It is a journey into the symbolic underworld, the duat of Egyptian belief. Walking through them, you can feel the immense weight of the temple above. You can sense the secrecy and the sacred purpose for which they were built. These were the inner sanctums of the inner sanctum, the heart of the temple's mystery. There are 12 of these crypts in total. They are not simple storage rooms. Each wall is covered in incredibly detailed and well-preserved reliefs. The quality of the carving is breathtaking. It is even finer than the work in the main temple above. The darkness and stable environment of the crypts have protected these artworks perfectly. Their colors are still vibrant. The lines are still sharp. This tells us that whatever was stored here and whatever rituals were performed were of the utmost importance. The Egyptians did not waste such effort on trivial matters. They were preserving the essence of their faith and knowledge. Why go to such lengths to hide these chambers? Other major temples, like those at Karnak or Abydos, have hidden areas. But the crypts at Dendera are unique in their complexity and secrecy. They are built directly into the massive foundation walls. This suggests they were part of the original design from the very beginning. This was not an afterthought. It hints at a tradition of sacred concealment. It suggests a body of knowledge so powerful, or perhaps so dangerous, that it had to be buried deep within the earth, protected by tons of stone and layers of ritual. What do these hidden carvings show us? This is where the mystery deepens. The most famous and controversial images are found in one of the southernmost crypts. These reliefs are known today as the Dendera lights. They depict long bulb-like objects. Each object has a snake-like filament running through its center. The bulb rests on a stand called a jed pillar, a symbol of stability and power associated with the god Osiris. A cable-like line appears to connect the object to a rectangular box. Figures are shown tending to these objects. It is a scene unlike anything else in conventional Egyptian art. Mainstream Egyptologists offer a symbolic interpretation. Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist known for his work on the Sphinx, acknowledges the strangeness but leans towards a mythological explanation. He suggests the bulb is a lotus flower, a symbol of creation. The snake inside represents the primordial creative force emerging from the flower. The scene, they argue, depicts an Egyptian creation myth. It is a visual representation of the birth of the sun god from a lotus blossom. This is the safe, accepted view. It fits neatly into our standard understanding of Egyptian religious symbolism. But does it truly explain what we are seeing? The problem with the mainstream theory is that the images do not look like flowers. They look like technical devices. The jed pillar looks like an insulator. The cable running to the box looks like a power source. The snake's wavy form is precisely how early physicists depicted an electrical discharge in a low-pressure tube. It is a striking parallel. Could the ancient priests of Dendera have possessed a form of electrical technology? Could they have used these devices to create light in the dark underground chambers? This idea is often dismissed as pseudo-archaeology, but the visual evidence is compelling. Let's consider the context. The priests were guardians of ancient knowledge. The reliefs are hidden in the most secret part of the temple. If you had a powerful technology, would you display it for all to see? Or would you hide it, preserving the knowledge for a select few initiates? The scene is presented with all the reverence of a sacred ritual. Perhaps technology and spirituality were not separate for the ancients. Perhaps what we see is a depiction of a sacred technology, a light of the gods that was both a physical phenomenon and a symbol of divine creation itself. The carvings demand that we keep an open mind. So, what was the true purpose of these crypts? Were they simply secure vaults for ceremonial objects, as most scholars believe? Or were they something more? One popular theory, championed by authors like myself and engineers like Chris Dunn, proposes they were functional powerhouses. The reliefs are not just symbols, they are blueprints. They depict a form of ancient electrical lighting. This would explain how the Egyptians were able to create intricate paintings and reliefs in pitch-black tombs and chambers without leaving any soot marks from torches on the ceilings. The Dendera light provides a potential answer to this long-standing puzzle. Renowned Egyptologist Zahi Hawass strongly refutes these ideas. He and other mainstream academics insist that such interpretations are based on a misunderstanding of Egyptian art and religion. They argue that every element in the Dendera light reliefs can be explained through known mythology. The jed pillar is Osiris's spine. The snake is the god Harsamtis. The entire scene is purely symbolic. They point out that no physical evidence of such devices, no wires, no filaments, no glass bulbs, has ever been found. For them, the case is closed. The crypts were for ritual and storage, nothing more. But we must ask, would we expect to find such evidence? If this was a highly advanced sacred technology, the devices themselves would have been incredibly valuable. They would likely have been removed and hidden elsewhere as the ancient culture declined. Perhaps they were made of materials that decayed over time. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The reliefs themselves are a form of evidence. They are a detailed depiction of something. Their similarity to early electrical apparatus, like Crookes tubes, is too uncanny to be dismissed as mere coincidence. We should not let academic dogma blind us to the possibilities. Ultimately, the crypts of Dendera contribute immensely to our understanding of ancient Egypt by challenging it. They show us that there are still profound secrets buried beneath the sands. Whether they were chambers for ritual magic, symbolic creation myths, or a lost form of high technology, they prove that the ancient world was far more complex and mysterious than we imagine. The crypts force us to question our assumptions and to recognize that the priests of Hathor were custodians of a powerful and ancient wisdom. They were guarding secrets we are still trying to unveil today, secrets that may rewrite our history.